that, Jake, is what is the major issue that Alabama fans had with how the defense performed last year against Vanderbilt?
Poor tackling or
Just poor tackling. It was the
execution,
run defense, right?
run
As
defense.
everybody,
Yeah.
okay. Well, let me. They only ran for. I say only. They ran for 166 yards, but it took them 54 carries.
Okay, so that's what, like
3.1 yards a carry.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody's talking about, and everybody talked about how it's containing Pavia in the rushing game. Alabama did that. He had 20 carries for 56 yards for 2.8 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Their leading ball carry and running back position, 21 carries for 64 yards, which is exactly 3 yards a carry. So while, yes, the run defense needs to be a little better, that's not what cost Alabama the game from a defensive standpoint. This is what cost Alabama the game. Diego Pavia was 16 of 20 passing for 252 yards. That's a 12.6 yard average.
Yeah. Can't happen.
And then you brought it up as well. They were, I think, 12 of 18 on third down conversions.
Yeah. Almost mirror image what we were last week.
It's very much the way Alabama beat Georgia last week is how Vanderbilt beat Alabama last year.
Yep.
Win third down, good enough in the running game to where you keep the defense honest and hit those passing plays down the field. And that's what cost this Alabama team. They could not get stops in critical third down situations. And then if you remember, it was 4th and 1 and Malachi Moore gets beat over the top for a touchdown, for like a 40 touchdown.
Yep.
And that pretty much sealed the game for Vanderbilt. So I think in terms of playing the run, I think if you hold Vanderbilt to as much as they run, if a team runs it 50 or 60 times, they're going to get over 100 yards. I mean, you just can't help that.
Right.
I mean, so if for a team that runs it that much, if you can hold them to 150 or less, that's got to be considered a win. You just have to limit the explosive plays in the passing game and get off the field on third down.
Yeah, I agree, Stacey. And one thing I think is going to help in this year's matchup is, if I remember correctly, Alabama's like top 5 in defensive passing efficiency in the country. So they've gotten a lot better with their pass defense. It's just we got to get that run defense squared away, and then this defense is going to be legit like we believe it will be.
Yeah, and we talked about it after the Georgia game. It's not so much in between the tackles where teams are finding success. It's when they bounce runs to the outside and we just have poor contain. And not to pick on the one guy, but Damani Jackson had a very poor game against the Georgia Bulldogs in terms of run support. And he also did give up the explosive play in the passing game as well for a touchdown, there in the first half. So Alabama has to be better on the edges. And obviously losing Quay Russaw hurts because he's your best edge setter from that Wolf position. You're also missing Jamarian Latham, who would be playing that role with Quay Russaw out. So now you're going to a Yanze Pierre. You're probably going to play a Justin Hill, maybe even a Noah Carter. How does Alabama handle that Wolf position with Quay Russaw and Jamarian Latham out? That is going to be a key part of this game for Alabama because they need to contain the running game, keep it between the tackles. Don't fall for the misdirection. And I'm confident this Alabama defense can play the run good enough to win the football game. It's like I said, get off the field on third down. And it's not complete. You don't have to completely eliminate explosive plays. They're going to make plays. I mean, Vanderbilt's a good football team, but you just can't allow them to pick up those third downs over and over again and sustain drives. And that's just killer. It's killer for you.
Right. I agree, Stacey. And a guy who I think could have a big game just because of what Vandy does and what we do with him defensively is, Bray Hubbard, because he's around that line of scrimmage.
He's going to have a big game no matter what.
Yeah, right. So
he's done pissed off.
Yeah, and did he play much in that game last year? I think Sabb did not get hurt until the Tennessee game.
That was still when Keon Sabb was starting.
So, I know you got film on Bray Hubbard, but it's different when you get on the field against that dude. And he's just
he's almost like another linebacker on the field because of his physicality.
So that could bode well for Alabama because they don't know how physical this dude is. And he, like you said, he's pissed off and he's coming for the ball carrier every single time the ball is handed off.
Yeah, he is an X factor in this game
Mhm,
because of his ability to come up and play the run inside the box. And
mhm,
then also he is pretty sound fundamentally in terms of, making sure he stays where he's supposed to be when it's time for him to play coverage. So
yep,
he will play a major role in this game. Need those inside backers to play well. They
yep,
got to have good run fits. Obviously James Smith is going to miss the first half because of the targeting. So Edric Hill is going to have to step up.
mhm,
London Simmons, Tim Keenan, those guys are all going to have to play well. LT Overton. We'll probably see a good bit of Jordan Renaud. So those guys are going to have to step up and play well and just limit what this Vanderbilt team does on first and second down when they're most likely going to be running the football the most, and set them up in third and medium or longer, and
right,
you're going to give yourself a better opportunity to get off the field. But when they're consistently in third and 2, third and 3, it's going to be really hard to get off the field because they're so effective at what they do. You
right,
know, this Vanderbilt offense, it has talent. Don't get me wrong. Diego Pavia is a really good college quarterback.
mhm,
Curtis Alexander's a good college running back. Eli Stowers, their tight end, is one of the best tight ends in the country. He's he's
yep,
he's going to be an NFL dude, first or second round guy, in my opinion.
mhm,
He may fall to the third, but he's a really high quality tight end, maybe the best tight end in the SEC. So they got some dudes.
mhm,
But what makes this Vanderbilt team so hard to defend is one, it's not something you play very often, and two, they do such a good job of executing what they do.
right,
Diego Pavia just executes this offense at a very high level, and he's just so consistent at what he does that they're so hard to defend because they're not going to beat themselves. They
right.
stay with themselves and do what they do, and they do it at a really high level.
Yeah, I agree, Stacey. It's going to be a fun matchup, and if we can, like you said, keep them in third and medium, third and long situations. Don't let them have like the third and twos, third and ones, because that's really what their offense, how they go about themselves, how they want to just keep the time possession on their in their favor is they want to keep it in the third and two so they can get that first down, keep the ball, keep a drive going, and then just wear you down defensively.
Yep, no doubt.